Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 40 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And I'm the chosen one.
I love it every time. This episode is sponsored by Steph Renna. Thank you,
Thanks, Steph.
Thank you. Today we will be discussing Chapter 17 of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, The Heir of Slytherin.
The bad one.
Is there a good one?
Yeah, me.
You're the heir?
Yeah.
You're an heir? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
My mama is... What's her name?
I don't know.
This
What
is
is
why
her
people
name?
hate us.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Whose mom?
Merope?
No.
Ivy?
Voldemort's daughter.
Delphi? Oh,
Delphi. Yeah, my mama's Delphi.
Oh, cursed child lover over here. Doesn't remember Delphi.
I feel like she had to be really young to have you, because how old was she now?
I don't know.
No, she'd be real young.
Well, magic.
It's a new Teen Mom episode.
Yeah, it's a Teen Mom episode. I
In the
older than me.
Wizarding World. Could be a Wizarding World one. I don't know. We don't know what they do. All right. So, Chapter 17. Make sure that you have read the chapter and you're ready to dive into the details. Before we begin, let's see if Megan can read this social media as exciting as you read it last time.
All right, guys.
Billy Mays here.
Swish and Flick here with an all Potter podcast. Do you like Harry Potter?
I
do.
do.
You like women? Because we are 4 women talking about Harry Potter.
She's going to knock over her tea.
Swish and Flick Podcast can be found on all of the different social medias. We are Swish and Flick Podcast on Facebook and Swish Flickcast on Twitter and Instagram. Also, make sure that you head on over to our YouTube channel and subscribe for our usually weekly vlog.
It's a lot of work.
It really is, guys.
We're honest
but
here.
we post vlogs as often as we can. So make sure that you hit subscribe and like and comment and share all the videos. Follow us on our crazy Potter-filled adventures together. You can also join us on Patreon for exclusive access to our bi-monthly bonus episodes podcast branch of our podcast called The Felix Files. And you also can have a chance to be a guest on the Felix Files, live video chat sessions with us monthly, giveaways, and for our next episode, we're starting live podcasts, not every single time because we're not always together, but when we're together, we will do a live podcast for our patrons. So make sure that you head on over to patreon.com/swishflickcast and choose your support level. Shout out and huge thank you to all of our current patrons. You make this podcast possible with your support.
What level of patron should they be for the live podcast?
Hippogriff or higher get the live podcasts. Phoenixes get to be guests on the Felix Files and join us for our live video chat sessions.
And just so you all know, the Felix Files have taken like an insanely awesome turn. Not that they weren't great before, because it was so fun talking about other stuff outside of the chapter reads, but we have been doing some really epic, deep and sweaty Snape episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you
Can we not put all those words together with Snape ever again?
Hey, you know what? He's a man.
Wow. Wow.
But so basically what it's going to turn into for a long while, is going to be in-depth character analysis episodes.
Yeah.
I believe next up after Snape is going to be Lupin, because we're starting Prisoner of Azkaban.
I have one thing to say about both of them.
About both of who?
Both Snape and Lupin.
What?
Okay.
Pour one out for both of them.
Why'd you have to bring us down?
Because you know what, Katie? That's my prerogative.
Along with wearing 2 pairs of glasses.
Bifocals.
These are the new bifocals.
Better to see you with, my dear.
Oh, God.
So yeah, if you guys want some cool in-depth episodes on the characters, that's going to happen for a while now. Head on over to patreon.com/swishflickcast, and you just have to be a Bowtruckle patron and higher for access to the episodes.
But to be on it,
Phoenix.
you gotta be a
Be a
phoenix.
phoenix, like Fox.
You gotta be a firebird.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the weekly proper.
You can also say pouring out for that girl.
Who?
The one that says yes, yes, yep from the little thing. Okay, never mind.
I have no clue what's
Weekly profit news this week. I just wanted to have a little bit of an open discussion on Hogwarts Mystery, which was released this week.
Okay, I have nothing to say. Go. I haven't played it.
Wouldn't let me put a name in, so I have not been able to play it.
Cool. Cool.
So it's stuck with
Solid.
Megan, who plays games, and me, who does not.
Okay, so I have been playing it quite a bit.
She ignores my texts and plays this game instead. No, I'm
okay.
just kidding.
Well, the
Well, I do
sort
only
of
5 times.
the sort of like good/bad thing about this game is that they don't really let you play it for very long until you have to pay money.
It's all about that
We don't
money,
have to pay money. You
Right.
can be patient and
If
wait for
you-
your energy to come back.
Who
Right.
has patience these days in the world of
I
instant
refuse
gratification?
to pay for any type of game, but I also am not this type of game player. So
I
like,
will
can
say
leave it
that
for a while.
I did, but I'm not anymore. No more money is going into Hogwarts Mystery.
How much money did you?
$10.
Bull-
It's crazy.
$10, and it was not worth it. I learned my lesson because let me tell
Hey.
you. So I will say, Katie and I both were really big Pokemon Go players. Not so much anymore, but when it was like in its prime, we played it a ton.
I probably put $40 into that game.
I put, yeah.
We put we put a lot into that
Buying,
game, but that game when you put money into it felt worth it in a
You're
way.
getting stuff because you actually got stuff like
Right,
Pokeballs.
you were obtaining things,
dude.
So like with this game, when you put money into it, it literally that $10 lasted me 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh no, this is a real bad rabbit hole. I'm not doing this anymore. So did it once. Yes.
You know what you could spend $10 on?
Your wife.
Coffee.
Yeah. No. Becoming a Hippogriff patron.
Exactly.
And then you could have a live podcast with
Best
us.
thing I have seen in a long
Yeah.
time.
I saw that.
Oh my
I saw that
God.
on the group.
So that is Hogwarts Mystery's biggest downfall to me is that like I like the idea of reining people in with the energy and like tempting them to purchase energy.
I mean, it's a
a
great
but-
tactic.
I will say there are games
It
out
is,
there.
but it's a bad ratio
Yeah.
because it's almost at
It
the
goes
point where it's
quickly.
annoying.
But
Yes.
it can
Yes.
get tweaked. I mean, think about all
Yes.
the tweaks.
It can get tweaked, and also
it
like,
shouldn't take that long to
I
fill,
agree.
or what it should be is it shouldn't take that much energy to complete a task.
I agree. Like
Yes.
the last
You can't
time I
even
looked,
finish a lesson with one full
I-
energy.
I know it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's so frustrating.
And for me, when like I'm not a big game player. A, B, the only games I have on my phone besides this are like the ones where you're matching stuff, like 2 dots,
Right.
like you're getting all like that's the kind of games.
Yeah.
Like I don't play games like the Hogwarts Mystery thing.
Yeah.
So that's annoying. Like last night I was telling them
it doesn't
so,
keep you interested.
No, so like, and then I had to wait. So like last night I didn't sleep at all. So like I was up all night playing the game. So I'm half playing the game, waiting for energy to come. So I'm half watching things on YouTube, and then while I'm playing the game, I'm like listening to Hamilton. So like all these things are happening, and it's almost like you're just waiting and
Yeah.
waiting, and you can't like I sit there and be like, oh well, I'm not starting a task yet because I don't have the full energy. And even when you do have the full
Yeah.
energy. You're gonna be gone in 2 seconds, and then you're like, "Well, I have nothing. I can't do anything,
Right.
Because you need
Niantic?
energy for everything."
There's the creators, Niantic.
I don't know
Actually,
if they're
no, I
doing
don't
this
think
one.
they are.
Niantic is doing like a Fantastic Beasts one
Okay.
or something that is coming out later. That's going to
Honestly,
be
though-
like Pokemon Go.
If you guys, I mean, that's the great thing about like having like Twitter.
Yeah.
They have social media for these companies. Like,
'Cause
if
they
you get
listen.
enough people, yeah, they will listen to you. So, tweet at them.
Yeah.
Swishers, tweet at them. You don't like the energy thing? Let them know.
Yeah,
Well,
seriously.
I just want to say really quick, like I understand their business motive behind it, but there needs to be a better ratio with it. You
time
need
to
to be
energy.
able to finish a lesson with a full energy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like I went into a charms lesson and I wanted to learn Wingardium Leviosa.
why.
So you have to pick. First of all, you have to pick, do I want the 1 hour lesson, the 3 hour lesson, or the 8 hour lesson? And depending on which one you pick, you earn more things. However, the longer the lesson, the more energy you need.
What things do you win?
You just win like courage points or knowledge points or coins or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, the cheese factor is huge. Cheddar.
Well, and like I know with other games that I've played where, you know, you need lives or you need things, and because no matter any of those types of things, there are going to be people that are going to be spending money.
Right.
But they also have ones where, like, watch this video for 30 seconds and we're going to give you extra things.
Because
like,
you're
that's
making
something they
money
should have.
off of the
Yes.
advertising.
Right.
So just do it.
And there's people that are not going to waste their time watching that 30 seconds and pay to do
Right.
it. And then there's going to be people like me that I'll watch that over
and
and
you'll
over and over
still
again.
get your money from your advertiser.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Katie.
I think, because I haven't played it yet, but just hearing from what you're saying, if they just shortened how long it takes to get the energy, like,
Yes.
for example, I used to play Disney
Emoji Blitz. I still do.
It takes time to get your points back, but not a lot of time. I'm not sitting there
What is
forever.
What is the time?
4 minutes.
In emoji.
It's
Yeah,
4
like-
minutes
I don't know about
in
emojis.
Hogwarts
In
Mystery.
Hogwarts.
It is 4 minutes for one energy point. And whenever you're doing so just to put it into perspective, if you're doing a Wingardium Leviosa lesson, you need probably approximately 15 points between stars earned. And in the 8-hour lesson, you have to earn 5 stars, and you only have 8 hours to complete it. So you have to basically be paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go and do this to refill my energy so that I can run out and get more again.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So
And, like-
it's just a bad ratio of
Like, and I feel because you had to and I understand, like, when you're doing a lesson, or you're like, whether it's learning the charms or doing the potions or you're learning to fly, you have to click on different things, and each one is
Yeah.
like, oh, this is 1, this is 3, this is 5, like, and depending on which one you're clicking on, you're gaining like what kind of a student you're gonna be. But I'm like, can I just click on it once, and then like you do the whole lesson, and then you have to like go back and do it all over again
If you
to,
run
like,
out of
learn
time.
to learn the spell, you like do all this stuff, and then
then you
you
have to
go
go
ahead
again.
and then you
Yeah.
learn, like then you actually do it.
because I did the Wingardium one twice. You had to do one of the lessons, which was just learning it, and then you had to go again, and then it was like, oh, learn the stance.
Yeah.
Learn-
megabyte download for that game.
Well, and it, just so everybody is aware, it uses data
Yeah.
as it's playing, like a ton.
tells
It's
you
like
that when it's
Pokemon
loading.
Go. So you want to be on Wi-Fi while you're playing it if you don't have unlimited data. Thankfully, I do, so it doesn't matter. But if you don't, be warned.
All right, guys. So the creators of this game is Jam City Inc. So if you have issues, it's got a 4.8
I mean,
rating on
Which
the App Store.
Which I'm sure is because it is a great concept. It's an awesome game. They just really need some help with it needs to be less of a money grab. You are going to make money, but you need to at least make it a realistic game to be able to play for people who aren't going to put money into it. Otherwise, it's pointless because and the thing is, like I said before, I put $10 into it and that literally lasted me 15 minutes, if that. So if there's like a kid who has mom or dad's phone and is just like,
Wake it up.
oh yeah, I need more energy. That's going to go quick.
And I am the one, I have never spent money on a game, like, except for ones you like buy like the $2 or like you pay like
You pay for the actual game.
and
Yeah.
then that's it. Like and I'm also can see myself not playing this like that much. Like I was off all day yesterday and today, and I didn't play it that much because I'm like, well, I have to wait for all this stuff, and then I forget about it. 'Cause
Right.
you have to wait for your energy to come back. Like when
But
I
it's
was
such a good concept, and I really think that it could be really successful. There just needs to be a happy medium here between money grab, buying energy, and having patience to build it up.
Yeah.
It uses too much. Either you need to lessen the amount of energy that it takes to complete a task, or you need to lessen the amount of time it takes to refill.
I think both,
One
to
or
be
the
honest
other.
with you.
Yeah, probably.
Because like I know I was starting some type of lesson, and I knew it didn't have like the full. And it needed 5 stars, and I didn't have my full energy back yet. And I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm like,
Right.
because I know it's gonna take all 26 of my energies, and I'm
Right.
still probably gonna need it for the next part of the lesson, anyways.
Yep.
Honestly, like being like a big gaming person, I hate to say this, but I just, and obviously a Potterhead, I have zero interest in this game. Is that bad for me to say?
No.
I don't like the specs of it. I'm not in the mobile games. I never have been. I doubt I'll ever will be unless they put like Legends of Zelda on there, which I don't think is going to happen. I wasn't even into Super Mario Run. It was cool for like the first few levels, but then I was over.
I didn't get into that one either.
I just wish that I would much rather
not my
drop.
platform.
I would much rather drop $45 on this game and have the game. Give me the game for 40. I will give you $45 straight up.
Don't cost that anymore, Megan.
I know.
I would say not.
But
a
like
gamer.
for a mobile game, if you want to make a mobile game
Like
and
a
make
full
it
mobile game?
make it like a $20 download where I don't have to wait for energy.
No, they
I
need to
wouldn't
go
do
back.
that.
They need to go back to systems. They need to go back to consoles.
Yeah.
Get out of mobile games. It's not as big as we think it's not. It's a fad.
Well,
as far as gaming goes,
And I wonder
For
though,
like real gaming. I mean, like great mobile games are like Angry Birds.
they're quick games. Tetris,
right.
Yeah.
that
Yes.
Emoji Blitz, whatever.
Yeah.
But like full.
But RPG
like
games,
this, yes,
RPG games
should
are not meant for mobile.
They should not be mobile.
I wonder what it looks like though, like on a bigger screen if they
Like
make
on
it
an
different,
iPad?
on an iPad.
I mean, again, that's fine,
not
but
doing it, so-
the whole energy issue.
Yeah.
Just give me the
Well,
game.
here,
And I will say, as not a gamer at all, I would rather play it on a TV. Like have
Yeah.
a console, like have
yeah.
Because
I mean,
using your finger, I'm not into any of this stuff.
Because
so it's
this
just not
game
my-
sort of reminds me of the old PlayStation games.
yeah.
Like Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, the Quidditch game that was was out for like GameCube.
Yep.
Like it has that sort of obviously RPG feel, but it has the mobile game aspect of. It has the mobile game aspect of like, oh, you have to, in-app purchases.
Do you have any of those games anymore?
I do.
This should be like us vlogging me doing it because I think they'd be really funny.
I do. I have a
what I'm
ton
doing.
of them.
I think that'd be hilarious.
That'd be fun. I have a PS2 as well. I just need to find all the cords for it. And a GameCube. So.
It's time for the
Recap.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Into the recap.
I was just
really intense.
We're gonna recap what we talked about in the last episode.
All right. So Harry and Ron solved the mystery, obviously with help from Hermione, about the monster in the chamber.
Even though she was petrified.
Right, about the monster in the chamber and how its victims had gotten petrified. But before they could tell McG what they knew,
Right. That
another message had been written on the wall. Ginny Weasley had been taken into the chamber.
Is that what the message said?
Yes.
no, it didn't say Ginny.
I know. To get Lockhart out of the way, McGonagall assigned him the task of saving her, but surprise, he's a fraud. So Harry and Harry
said he's a frog.
yes, that's his animagus. Harry and Ron drag him as they uncover the entrance of the Chamber of Secrets. But sadly, I don't think Lockhart's going to really remember much of what happens.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Alrighty, Ruru. So,
Okay, Tiffany.
so Harry has made it into the chamber and sees Ginny unconscious on the floor, and Tom Riddle tells Harry she won't be waking up. What? Harry finds out who exactly Tom Riddle is and what has been happening to the school. Tom calls the basilisk, and Harry tries to run away with his eyes tightly shut. With the help of the Sorting Hat and Fox, Harry saves the day and gets rid of Tom. Ginny wakes up, and Harry gets her out of the chamber and gets back to Ron and Lockhart. Fox flies them back up to the bathroom, and they head to the adults. To find the adults, to be exact.
Who are more adult than us.
Much more.
Okay. All right, guys. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I was hoping you weren't going to call me out on that. My speech is just not very good lately. All right, so Harry came to the end of a very long and dimly lit chamber. Ooh, okay. Nobody? Nobody?
Dementors. Ooh.
See? Come on. All right. There were towering stone pillars entwined with serpents, casting long black shadows in odd greenish glow. I would not want to come down here.
Nope.
No, it's probably pretty dirty. It
I
hasn't
mean,
been touched
I
in a
got
while.
really confused, and I thought you meant this basement, and I was like, why? I'm like, did something happen?
This is the Chamber of Secrets. It is.
No, I just like it has a greenish glow.
Yeah.
Evil. No, is it lime?
Lime.
No, I re-
Slytherin common room has a greenish glow because it's underwater.
Yeah.
True. It's also scary.
No, it's cozy.
I don't know.
There's
if
a big
I go.
fireplace.
There are high back chairs with no cush for your tush.
I don't know. In Hogwarts Mystery, they look like leather couches. Pretty comfy.
Yeah, but not all leather
saying,
couches are comfortable.
Someone's pretty jelly in my squashy armchair.
Can't you just put a cushioning charm on them?
Yeah, for real.
Can you put a
look
cushioning
cool.
charm on your own tuchus?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Can you like just put it on
I
your pants
would
instead of like
not.
your actual butt? And your pants are
I
cushy.
wonder what happens.
Remember that
to your
picture
skin.
in Quidditch Through the Ages? How we were like, holy crap, it's like a real cushion.
Yeah.
No.
I would
what a
walk around
cushioning
with
charm
that
does.
on my booty.
That'd be cool with that.
I'm into it. All right. So questions and fear are running through Harry's head in regards to where the basilisk is and where Ginny is and if she is still alive.
Can you
As
imagine that feeling?
no,
This is too much for a 12-year-old. Yeah, too much.
no.
Is my best friend's sister dead or alive?
Is
I have
my
to find
wife-
her.
It's my future wife.
She needs to bear my children.
She needs to tie my shoes and Half-Blood Prince.
I need to zip her dress.
She needs to say, "Close your eyes."
I hate it all. It's so awkward. All right,
Young
anywho.
love.
Close your eyes.
Stop.
It's so awkward.
It is. It makes me uncomfortable just thinking about it. The hollow eyes of the snakes on the walls seemed to be following him as he was walking, and he thought he saw one stir. And I said he probably did.
Yeah, probably.
Thoughts? Mm-hmm.
Well, I bet. It's probably
It's
probably like that Indiana Jones pit down
Oh,
in there.
yeah.
Yes. Oh.
And he does not like snakes.
Guys,
No.
I'm just saying. So I'm a Slytherin, clearly. Everybody knows.
What?
Wait, what? News to me?
Snakes scare the poop out of me. In this chamber, I would poop my pants.
This chamber for you is like my Aragog scene.
yes.
No, I mean,
A basilisk
I think it.
kills you with its eyes.
Yeah, but it looks like a dragon.
You can't look at it to see what it looks like.
Right,
Because
don't-
it'll kill you.
Can't even know. I just got to run around blinded.
Yeah, but then you're like a ghost right away if you want to be one, and you can look at it all you want.
Blinded by the snake.
Apparently not. Apparently it just kills you again. Well, look at Nick.
I know.
Thank you for laughing at my joke, Katie.
I just kept talking.
That's pretty good.
Sometimes we have to keep going. Anyways, so at the end of this tunnel, at the last of the pillars, stood an enormous statue, the size of the chamber itself. It had a giant face that was rising above him. And the statue was, quote, ancient and monkeyish in appearance, which I thought was interesting.
Isn't this Slytherin's face?
Yeah. Yeah, but I just thought it was monkeyish, the word monkeyish.
Well, I agree. That's interesting.
Interesting.
I just want to say that I think this is one thing that the movies did perfectly.
Yeah, it looks pretty
The
good.
Chamber of Secrets, I think, is perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah,
And, well, we'll get into this later in the episode, but this whole scene in the movie is much more drawn out than the book.
yes. I was thinking that I was doing my next. I'm like,
I was
gosh, I'm
reading
like,
it
it's
and
so
I'm
much-
like, it's over?
The chase.
very quickly over.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
But I
mean,
bet you
have to
to
make
Harry, he probably was like, this is lasting a lifetime.
It's
I'm now
true.
45.
Yeah.
It had a long beard that almost reached the floor. It was it had stone robes, obviously it's made of stone. And it had gray feet.
What is wrong with this bell?
You
There
you
we
are wrong.
go. Tiffany, that's rude.
I know. I'm sorry. Between the feet lay a black robed figure with flaming red. That was a delay.
Orders up.
Flaming red hair. It was Ginny, guys.
She was below Salazar's statue.
Laying at his feet.
Under the beard.
Okay. And so Harry runs to her, and on his knees, he's basically like pleading for her to be alive. And while he's doing this, he flung his wand aside.
Dumb.
Stupid move.
It just reminds me of James at Godric's Hollow.
Yeah.
Tossing his wand on the couch.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I feel like even in a non-threatening situation, my wand would constantly be at my side.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be one of those people that sticks, like if I had my hair in a bun or something.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
In my hair.
Yeah.
I do that with pens sometimes.
I'm just saying I need an underwear holster. Ginny's face was white as marble and she was cold. Her eyes were closed. However, it was very clear that she was not petrified and she was not dead.
Was she breathing? Like, how did he
He's, like,
know
crying in the
that
corner.
she was not dead? Did he check for a pulse?
I don't know.
Did he go
Is
ask
Harry
for help?
that smart?
Help.
What do they do when you're doing CPR?
I mean, he like literally just runs around and is like, "Someone help me!" He's not that smart.
Annie, are you okay?
Annie, are you okay?
And then you go get the AED.
He probably
You
just
call
has a
911.
feeling.
And then out of the chamber came a soft voice saying, "She won't wake."
Ba-da-ba-ba.
And this startles Harry so much that he jumps.
Well, yeah.
And there, my friends, against the chamber wall stood a tall, black-haired boy, strangely blurred around the edges, like you were looking at him through a misted window. And I did not remember that from
Me either.
previous reads,
I forgot.
which makes this, I don't know, all that much more interesting. Because he's, like, Harry knew.
He's not human.
Well, it's almost like I'm assuming for 99.9% of people listening to this, and for us, we've read this. We know what's going to happen. We've seen the movie. So you almost are like, okay, this guy's going to show up. And then you're like, oh, I guess you have to remember that, like, he's not fully there yet.
Right.
And to think, like, oh, he's just some dude's going to walk up. And then you're like, oh, that's right. Misted window. Okay, he's not really there. I mean, he's there, but not complete yet. The download is not complete.
That's true. He's only at, like...
He's only Tom Ridd.
85%.
I was going to say 85%
He's
downloading.
buffering.
He's still buffering. He's got like a circle going on his chest.
The circle of death.
Oh gosh.
Well,
And it was Tom Riddle, and Harry recognized him from his previous adventure in the diary with Tom. And Tom was not taking his eyes off of Harry. And he says, "She's still alive, but only just." And at this, Harry begins to start processing the situation. Riddle was at Hogwarts 50 years ago, but there he stood, not looking a day over 16. Doesn't make any sense, right? And so Harry begins to talk, and I think that he starts to talk. He has this way of doing things where he kind of stalls situations until he can figure them out or figure out like what his next move is. And so he starts to ask questions. So he asks if Riddle is a ghost, and Tom tells him that he is a memory preserved in a diary for 50 years. Which that in itself is interesting to me. I don't know, because it's like
He's the whole
memories
crux.
know their memories.
well, and it's interesting to think, like, because he later on he's talking about how he knows, like, how did you beat, like, Voldemort? Like, how did you do it?
So I guess
And
it's
so
like
how does he?
all of Voldemort's thoughts and feelings of
In
his
a
memory
that's
are
crazy.
in there. Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I don't think it is.
No, he doesn't.
No, it's
how does
from
he know, but
it's from him as an adult creating this Horcrux. So
No,
that's
he
how
was
this
created.
16.
No, he didn't.
He
create
was
it
16 when he
was
created it.
16 when he
This
created
Tom
it.
Riddle only knows what
Up
that
to
Tom Riddle knew.
16-year-old Tom Riddle knows.
He knows so much
That's
because
why
Ginny
he
poured her
was-
heart out and
right,
told
he
him
was
the whole
so
story.
intrigued. He was
I
so
totally
get to that in my
intrigued with
section.
Harry because
Oh, I
Ginny
forgot
tells
that. Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Now
I talk
But
about that in mine.
that helps me think of, like,
Poop.
with Horcruxes being like, if you create one when you're 16 and you come back,
Now
you're
I
going to be
feel
your
stupid.
16-year-old
you're fine.
self. So it sucks if you're like 98 and you create a Horcrux and you're coming back as a 98-year-old. You're going to die like the next day anyways.
Everybody comment below on this episode and tell Tiffany that it's okay she forgot because she really is bummed.
Because
I
we've
don't
all
like
forgotten.
it when I forget.
Hello.
Like that.
Random Eileen Prince didn't know who she
You're
was.
right.
I'll take credit for that.
I mean, I don't remember anything, so.
You remember more than you say you do.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah, but like,
words.
Oh, they're hard. And so, where am I at here? The said diary is laying at the feet of the statue's giant toes. I said, why no shoes, Slytherin?
Maybe they
Must
didn't
be
make
closer to
shoes
the
back
earth.
then.
It makes me think of that scene of Voldemort, like
Yes.
I hate it.
walking
Oh,
with
with
Nagini in his feet
With the
in the
blood.
forest.
oh, I was gonna say the
Oh
blood.
yeah, the blood. That's right, at Gringotts. That's what it is.
I don't at the Malfoy Manor.
Yeah.
No, that's Gringotts.
No.
It's Malfoy Manor.
No, that's
it's
the slaughter of
He
Gringotts.
slaughters,
He slaughters all the goblins.
I thought that was at Malfoy Manor.
Because he doesn't kill anybody.
See,
at
I
Malfoy
forget
Manor.
things too,
Is
Tiffany.
this in
It's
the
okay.
movie?
No, I mean,
he kills
no, I mean-
the
goblins.
slaughter, it is, that scene is in the movie.
Yeah, I've
He's
only seen it,
walking
like,
with the
twice.
blood.
Here's
and
what
the
I'm saying.
Nagini's slithering in the blood, and he's barefoot. And
I don't want to see
Makes me want to vom.
your toes.
Especially Voldemort toes.
I mean, that
I don't want to
doesn't
see
bother me.
slurs either. I don't like your feet, people.
They're
Put some shoes
stone,
on.
Tiffany. They're stone.
I don't like it.
But they're like 1,000 years old, so they probably
He
smell.
wants to be close to the
them.
earth.
All right. So Harry asks for Riddle's help to lift Ginny up to get her out of the chamber, and he can only lift her halfway up, and he reaches for his wand, but it's gone.
Give me
Yeah,
my wand,
and
Tom.
so throughout
Give me my wand, Tom.
throughout this whole conversation, I want you guys to remember that Harry is
I'm sorry.
that was loud holding Ginny halfway up,
Yeah.
and I think that's cute.
It's
It
sweet.
is.
All right.
He's thinking, I'm going to marry you one day.
I love you.
You're going to help me create the Potter line.
Close your eyes.
We're going to have Albus Severus.
Tie my
And he's
shoes.
going to go back in time with a time turner.
Kiss
with
me
Scorpius.
awkwardly. All
You
right.
sound like those unicorns from Charlie the Unicorn.
I don't know what that is.
Candy Mountain, Charlie. Candy Mountain.
I don't know what any of that means.
We'll enlighten you later.
I guarantee at least some of our listeners have to know who Charlie is.
Oh, they took my freaking kidney.
Jesus. The people who don't care are like, can we get back
I
to
know,
Harry
right?
Potter?
Sorry.
Tiffany, it's funny, okay?
Okay.
All right. So Riddle is twirling Harry's wand in his long fingers, and this is just, he always does this. I feel like she always references his like long, gross fingers.
better
Voldemort?
to
I just
touch
like,
you
there's
with,
this
my
one.
dear.
It's when he's holding the
The
Elder
way he
Wand.
holds it.
He holds it all gross.
It is gross. It's a gross hold.
And
In
his
the
fingers aren't just
in the
gross.
picture
They're
from the Crimes of
nasty.
Grindelwald, Dumbledore's holding it weird
Yes.
too.
Yes, you're right.
Maybe
Ugh.
it's a dark wizard hold
Maybe it's holding the Elder Wand. Maybe the Elder Wand makes you hold it like that.
in a gross way.
Yeah.
I don't think Harry did that when he fixed his wand.
You don't know.
I know.
He was like, Amendo.
Ew, okay. I just feel like it's very common
It
for her
is.
to reference his long fingers, and especially like
Well, she's just very descriptive when it comes to the
Playing-
main characters. And
he does this stuff, and he's that typical villain crap where like
The monologue.
You got your
like
victim
Negan.
there, the guy you've been searching for, but no, let's talk for forever. And
he
then,
is like Negan. I guess Negan's like him. But
who?
Walking Dead.
Get out of here.
Shout out to my Walking Dead peeps. I know you understand me. Yeah.
They're zombies. They don't understand anything. And so he is smiling at Harry when Harry assumes that Riddle will give him his wand back. A curling smile. And I said, this is Grinch-like, I assume.
I agree. I just picture that scene in The Grinch
Yeah.
where, yeah.
I like that.
He had an awful idea. And Harry's realizing that they're wasting time. He's wasting Ginny's remaining life and time where the basilisk hasn't attacked them just yet. And he's pleading with Riddle like to help. Like, let's go. Let's get this girl out of here because
Poor little naive Harry.
Sarah doesn't understand what or who Riddle is. And so Riddle starts to begin to reveal his true self. The basilisk won't come until it's called, and Harry won't be needing his wand. And he's been anxiously waiting to see and speak to Harry Potter. Harry starts to lose his patience. He's like, we're in the Chamber of Secrets, bro. Like, do you know where we're at? And Riddle pockets Harry's wand and continues to smile at him. And this is where it just gets just real scary. Like, you just put yourself
Harry
in Harry's
knows he's in
shoes.
trouble.
Like you just have, it's like overcoming him and he's realizing exactly what is going on. Mm-hmm. And so Harry's now fully aware that the situation with Riddle is not right. Something's wrong. So he's continuing to stall rather. And he asks, how did Ginny get this way? And Riddle kindly obliges him with Ginny's tale in a very pleasant manner.
Can I
Yeah,
please
'cause
has the book to read?
He's full of himself. He thinks he's got this.
Well, and you think like Riddle's a very charming-ish person, you know?
He is.
Well, that's the way that he gets everybody.
Yeah, that's a very it can be a common thing in like, you know, psychopaths.
Yeah.
Agreed.
When you have an itch in a very certain spot and you almost can't reach it.
All right. So, Harry says, "How did Ginny get like this?" he asked slowly. "Well, that's an interesting question," said Riddle pleasantly, "and quite a long story. I suppose the real reason Ginny Weasley's like this is because she opened her heart and spilled all her secrets to an invisible stranger." "What are you talking about?" said Harry. "The diary," said Riddle. "My diary. Little Ginny's been writing in it for months and months, telling me all her pitiful worries and woes, how her brothers tease her, how she had to come to school with secondhand robes and books, how," Riddle's eyes glinted, "how she didn't think famous, good, great Harry Potter would ever like her."
Well,
All the time he spoke, Riddle's eyes never left Harry's face. There was almost a hungry look in them. It's very boring having to listen to the silly little troubles of an 11-year-old girl. He went on, "But I was patient. I wrote back. I was sympathetic. I was kind. Ginny simply loved me. No one's ever understood me like you, Tom. I'm so glad I've got this diary to confide in. It's like having a friend I can carry around in my pocket."
That's how I feel about my iPhone.
So,
The glint in his eye.
Oh.
And it's not
Such-
it's not
so
red
creepy.
yet,
And-
but it's a glint.
right. And it says here, Riddle laughed. A high, cold laugh.
High cold, guys.
That didn't suit him, and it made the hairs stand up on the back of Harry's neck.
It didn't suit him yet.
Right.
yeah.
What? Okay.
I'm just thinking it has nothing to do with what we're talking about yet, so just his transformation is all. Reminds me of another person's transformation.
Who?
The dude from Star Wars. What's his name? Palpatine. Isn't that
Oh,
his name?
Palpatine.
Emperor Palpatine?
Isn't he the one that like physically gets all crazy looking
Yeah.
first? Yeah.
So,
Reminds me.
I like you.
after telling Ginny's story, he then goes in to discuss Ginny's diary entries about like how she's noticing that she's losing bits of her memory, and she suddenly had rooster feathers all over her.
Oh, that part makes me sad.
She had paint on her front.
Aw.
I know there's more.
We should start
Sarah
a new
had paint
thing.
on her front yesterday.
Yeah. Called Dear Tom, and just talk about our woes and see if any Tom talks back.
Well, Ginny said, "Dear Tom, I think I'm losing my memory. There are rooster feathers all over my robes, and I don't know how they got there. Dear Tom, I can't remember what I did on the night of Halloween, but a cat was attacked, and I've got paint all down my front. Dear Tom, Percy keeps telling me I'm pale and I'm not myself. I think he suspects me. There was another attack today, and I don't know where I was. Tom, what am I going to do? I think I'm going mad. I think I'm the one attacking everyone, Tom."
She's 11 years old. She thinks she's going crazy.
Well, and think about it like, take all of magic aside. And like, when people start losing, like out of nowhere, losing their memories, like I myself could be a bit of a hypochondriac, being like, I think I have like a brain tumor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's terrifying.
Oh.
Like all of a sudden you're losing bits of your life, and then you're waking up and all this crazy stuff is on you. It just scary, especially for an 11-year-old
Yeah.
who's away from home.
Yeah. For like the first time.
Yeah. And all she has are her brothers, and you know how brothers, well I know how brothers
Well,
can
she
be.
says in the diary, "My brothers all tease me." That's like all she focuses on, that they tease her.
Last episode, we talked about how Fred and George were, really bothered when Ginny was taken. I mean, obviously, but like, and then we talked about how, maybe they had like a better relationship with her. But she writes about Percy checking in on her. Mm-hmm. And I think we should note that because, as crappy as Percy can get, he does love his sister.
Not saying he doesn't, but is he also checking on her to be like, well, I don't want her like
Yeah.
affecting my chances of
Like,
becoming
I'm a
head boy.
prefect.
Well,
And my family needs to be perfect.
But here's the thing. He says that she's not being herself and she's pale, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're her, she's already paranoid about the things that she can't remember doing. So when you're paranoid like that, you project that onto what you think other people are thinking about you.
Yeah.
So no matter what she says in this diary, it might be true that Percy might be thinking that way or whatever, or suspecting her. But in all reality, my headcanon is that he's truly worried about her and he thinks that something's wrong with her.
I'm not saying
I hope
not.
so.
But then you also have to like counter that with the way he behaved at breakfast that day. When she was worried and
Right.
wringing her hands.
And he's like,
and
"Get
he was
up."
like, can I sit there? You know, I'm hungry or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well,
or
he also thought that she was
Penelope.
like that, yeah, because of that.
Yeah.
so there's a lot of different things. I mean, we're not going to know.
Well, and even talking about the twins, and then maybe some of their like being so solemn that she's maybe gone forever, it's them feeling guilty. Like when you're the youngest sibling, I shouldn't say this, for myself, I got teased by my siblings. I still get teased by my siblings. So maybe they were like, I wish I hadn't have said all those things to her. I wish
Yeah.
I was nicer.
Yeah.
I wish we could get all this time back.
I think the twins do it out of love too.
No, because that's how my family is. Like,
No,
we
I
tease
know.
the crap out of each other, but we like in a loving way.
Right.
But at the same time, like if maybe we went too far. I don't know. Maybe that was just part of them
Yeah.
being so sad.
Or they were
about it.
so involved in their other things. We know the twins have a lot going on their own. Maybe they were like, oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they feel bad about
Well,
that.
and again, hindsight's always 20/20. So
Yeah, and you go
all
back
of
and
them
you
are
think.
probably being like, I wish I could have been there more. I wish I could have been like a better big brother and mentored her more and like made sure her transition into like her first year at Hogwarts was better, but they were all doing their own thing.
This is a lesson, guys, to always live your best life at all times.
Yeah, I mean,
Keep your loved ones close.
Because even though this worked out for the Weasleys, it doesn't in the future. So
true. It doesn't. Straight up.
Bringing down a sad
No, but honestly,
But-
it works out for about 5 solid minutes.
yeah.
One, I just think about poor Percy. Granted, not my favorite Weasley, but you reconcile with your family, and then within again
Destroyed.
a blink of an eye, yeah,
Honestly,
and you can't get
like,
those years back.
No, you can't. And so, I mean, what does holding on to things do to you except cause you misery? So,
Yeah.
just honestly, we only get one of these.
Yeah.
In theory. I mean, other people believe differently, but as for right now, even if you believe you have more than one life, like make this one great. Forgive and let go and love.
And on that note,
Just go do things, Don't let life
Go
hold
be
you
do
back.
things, guys.
Yeah.
That's the new T-shirt design.
honest.
Go be do things.
Be honest with yourselves and others. Tell people if you like them, you love them, all that stuff.
That's
Go
right.
give your family
if you
some
feel a
hugs.
certain way, let them know.
so Riddle then tells us, after all of these entries that Ginny put, she finally stopped trusting the diary. And she disposed of it, which we know she threw it into the bathroom where Moaning Myrtle was, and that's when Harry found it.
Don't.
Why there?
Nobody goes
I think
there.
because nobody goes in there.
What if she
have
threw it in
trash
the lake
cans?
and the squid started riding and got taken over? They catch your Tom.
It's squirting its ink on the thing.
The mer people made fun of my tentacle today. Dear Tom, I had to eat seaweed again. I don't know what squid
Jeez. Haggard was throwing rocks at me again today.
Oh man, we brought that
So-
down and brought it right back up.
You have to. This is why people like us, because we're funny.
We're like a roller coaster. You never know what you're gonna get.
So Ginny had poured
to your book.
everything about Harry into the diary, so Riddle knew who he was at this point. And of course, we know Harry discovered the diary next, and he started talking to Tom. I like this part. I don't like it, but Riddle says
She likes it. We're in her chamber.
your whole fascinating history. His eyes roved over the lightning scar on Harry's forehead, and their expression grew hungrier.
Hungry.
I knew I must find out more about you, talk to you, meet you if I could, so I decided to show you my famous capture of that great oaf Haggard to gain your trust. And this part makes me so angry and annoyed.
Hold on.
'Cause
I
he
just want to
is-
say one thing. You know, if you don't know yet, that Tom's a bad dude, that he's calling Hagrid an oaf.
Yeah.
Don't mess with my bro.
And he now flat out admits that he framed Hagrid. And he says, it was my word against Hagrid's.
Yeah.
Tom was brilliant and brave, a prefect, a model student. So, of course, everyone believed him.
Yep.
Except Dumbledore. So, because he knew Dumbledore was catching on to him, he knew that it would no longer be safe to open the chamber while he was still there, because Dumbledore was watching him closely. So he preserved his memory, in a diary, aka he created a Horcrux. And who did he kill to create this Horcrux? Is it Myrtle?
Is it Myrtle? Yeah, she
Yeah.
said it was Myrtle.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to read you who was with each item?
I know, yeah.
So the cup is Hepzibah Smith. The locket is a Muggle tramp. The ring is Tom Riddle Sr. The book / diary, Moaning Myrtle. The diadem is an Albanian peasant. Snake is Bertha Jorkins. And Harry was his parents / himself.
Can I just...
So Nagini was made very late in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out that I think that it is amazing that we are only on Chamber of Secrets and we are already discussing Voldemort's endgame plan with
I don't-
Horcruxes here.
I don't know who this user
Moaning Myrtle
is.
died before Tom Riddle Sr. died. That's at least what the internet is telling me.
Are you at sci-fi.stackexchange.com?
on the wiki, it says Tom Riddle Sr. died in 1943.
43 in December.
And she died June of 1943.
Oh, I'm seeing May on this.
Well, May or June. But it was like right.
I'm just saying we should have got the question right last night. But the thing is like, that's what. Yeah, so it says like in order of date, diary, ring, cup, locket, diadem.
But
Nagini.
the thing with he used Nagini to kill Moaning Myrtle.
No.
Yeah,
You mean the
not
best?
Nagini, the best. The snake.
Okay.
The snake killed. Like that's how she died.
Yes.
So when they're asking that kind of question, are they being like he physically like using his wand killed his father?
That's
I don't
garbage.
know. I agree. He's using wand to kill his father. He's using snake to kill Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah.
Both times he used to turn him
I
into
got you.
Horcruxes.
I got you.
I don't know if we really know for sure when Tom Sr. died.
I don't know why it says September to December, like that range.
But I
Because
think
somebody
it's
said
1943.
somebody
Maybe
said it
43
could be
for sure.
43, 44. I don't know if we
But
know
even
when Myrtle for sure.
Yeah.
We have an actual death date.
Well, I mean,
off
it's
of-
either May or June of 1943 because that's when the
Does
chamber was
Pottermore have
opened.
it?
Yeah. Some of these you can figure out just by what's represented in the book. I mean, but honestly, these are the things that should be written on Pottermore. Like, if there's anything that you should be
agree.
writing, is an article about
Well-
the Horcrux, the date, who it is. Stop making me speculate about this
Yes,
stuff. Let me
and
speculate about something else.
Anything that JK, like for my thing, like I was reading on either the lexicon or something had like the transcript of her doing right after the last book came out, the 7th book, she had like a Bloomsbury live chat.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
she's answering
yeah.
a bunch of questions. Or like if you've said anything, like why not just put it on Pottermore if that's supposed to be canon? Like people's birth dates and like what their wands are and all of that stuff. Like why not just have it on like your specific website?
Or that
And like because
encyclopedia we were looking for.
I'm trying to make
Timeline.
a timeline, and it's like difficult because I don't like every time I use something that's not Pottermore or in the books, like
You have to just
looking-
speculate.
Well, and I'm trying to like when people are like, "Oh, here are the sources," and I'm like, "But you're giving me like a book page, and you're not really telling
Well,
me." anything."
there are people like you, like just doing this. Like, so when you do your timeline, I assume you're also going to have things like between September or December of this
well, like
year.
I don't think
know?
I have exact dates for like,
a lot of stuff.
like depending on when they're born. Like Lucius Malfoy was born in 1954, so he either started school in 65 or 66,
Right.
depending on when
Right.
his birthday is.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's just, and I'm trying to like, because I like to have things. I like to know exactly like, we know with the Crimes of Grindelwald, the whole series is going to be ending in 1945. That's when Voldemort finished school.
Yeah. Just in time for a new Dark
see,
Lord.
When you see things correlate, you know?
I just want to know, Isn't it
Why not put that on Pottermore?
Isn't it in Deathly Hallows that he has graduated and goes and kills his parents?
I think
Isn't he already done or close to being done? So Myrtle would have to have been first. Because it was when he was 16.
I think Myrtle died, and then that summer he killed his parent, or he killed his whoever his relatives were, and then blamed it on Morphin.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Whenever he talks to Slughorn, that is before he makes the ring Horcrux.
Because he has to find out what it's going to do if he goes
actually,
into 7,
at that moment, we knew one had been made already.
Correct, because he wanted to do
so
it
this
again.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So that does make sense.
You're welcome.
So that
the
Moaning
diary
Myrtle
was
the
first.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Moaning Myrtle was first.
She
and
was
then
first.
Shout out to Swish and Flick Trivia Team for getting that question right and not getting the point.
We'll still come back.
Roughly, this is what it is. So roughly in 1956, he killed Hepzibah Smith. And then 57, he kills a Muggle tramp. Then he vanishes for 10 years. Morphin Gaunt dies in Azkaban. He was the one that was blamed for the deaths.
Yes.
And then in 66, he appears to apply to teach at Hogwarts. And again, I don't know how exact these dates are because I cannot find.
Yeah, it's just an estimation.
Yeah, a rough estimation.
All right, back to Chamber of Secrets.
Huge tangent, but it's like,
But it matters.
But it's
It
about
matters.
Horcruxes.
We're starting with the Horcruxes right now, and that's what people have to realize is like through this reread.
Is Chamber.
This is
and we
it.
are seeing the first Horcrux
it.
already.
Yeah,
This is why we're doing
and you're
this.
seeing how it's destroyed.
So I don't know. Look, I was reading on the internet about, and it was J.K. Rowling was talking about how Harry can see through Nagini because like they're both Horcruxes and
Yes.
he doesn't know. It's just fascinating that's how he can see
How
you
they're
know,
all
Arthur.
interconnected.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What if he could see like through the cup and someone was taking a drink?
You would.
You Hufflepuff. So I like this part, how Harry is almost like taunting Tom now at this point, where he's like,
Sassy.
just so you know, no one's died. Not even the cat died.
I hope he's doing
So, right.
Snapping.
Snaps.
snap.
Oh, I'm like,
motion.
what cat?
But
It's like
Tom
Polydactyl.
Tom then admits, he's like, killing mudbloods is no longer my end game. My end game is meeting you. I want to get to know you because of everything Ginny's told me about who you are and what you did. He doesn't say this yet, but what you did to me in the future.
He's probably
his
thinking,
future.
look at this scrawny
Yeah,
kid.
like how did he do
How
it?
did
Yeah.
this stop me? Is
Also,
what he's
in the
thinking.
most epic way.
He thinks Harry's gonna die right now, so he's trying to get all this information from him so that this doesn't happen. again.
Right.
He's trying to stop future event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But like it's not really a future event.
I know. It's weird. It's weird.
The whole
But
time he
If something stopped him at one point, he
Yeah.
never wants that to happen
Yeah.
again.
You're wearing
Absolutely.
Gryffindor colors.
I am part Gryffindor.
aren't we all?
So Tom, as we stated, like he knows at this moment that this boy was his downfall, but he doesn't know anything really about it because he's stuck as 16-year-old time.
Yeah.
16-year-old Tom, which is really intriguing to me.
I would
like,
went with time.
He's stuck
like-
in time.
so we have Voldemort standing in front of us, who literally has no idea who Harry Potter is. Like, how bizarre is that, right?
How bizarre.
I don't even know
How
who Harry
bizarre.
Potter is.
So Tom knew that Harry would come looking for Ginny, hence why he made her come down here. She apparently struggled and cried, but eventually made her way down, and then he started sucking the life out of her. Anyone else picture Hocus Pocus? Because I do every single time.
Oh, I thought of a Dementor.
No. Dementor.
I just think of Winifred, like drinking Max. That's right. I think of like her holding Max like on her broom, and she's like.
No.
Anybody envisioning the scene?
I did not.
I got it. I got it.
All right.
This came back to me because it's like we're talking about she's apparently struggling and cried. If he had been able to make her like completely black out for moments and do all this crazy stuff, like think of how strong
She's
she
fighting
is,
him.
that she's fighting him enough. She knows now that she's like, this dude's a bad egg and I'm not going to let him control me.
Right.
And she struggled and she cried and was able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
Book Ginny is BA, y'all.
Yeah.
I love her.
She's great.
All right, so Tom says, so I made Ginny write her own farewell on the wall and come down here to wait. She struggled and cried and became very boring, but there isn't much life left in her. She put too much into the diary, into me, enough to let me leave its pages at last. I've been waiting for you to appear since we arrived here. I knew you'd come. I have many questions for you, Harry Potter. Like what? Harry spat, fists still clenched. Well, said Riddle, smiling pleasantly, how is it that you, a skinny boy with no extraordinary magical talent, managed to defeat the greatest wizard of all time? How did you escape with nothing but a scar while Lord Voldemort's powers were destroyed?
Nothing but a scar.
Now we get to learn who the heck Tom Riddle really is.
I think he's got some questions for Harry.
Who's Tom Riddle?
I don't know.
Who is Tom?
So Harry doesn't really get why Tom cares because Voldemort was after his time. But Tom says, Voldemort is my past, present, and future.
Yeah,
You
he
can see
is.
the guy in the movie saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he takes Harry's wand and he draws out Tom Marvolo Riddle, does a little swish and flick,
Hey!
and it spells, I am Lord Voldemort. So
How long do you think it took him to figure out
Have you
that
ever
anagram?
seen that? Where it's like him writing a bunch of like dumb
Is that an anagram?
words?
Yeah, anagram.
Sure.
Teacher.
Have you seen that post? There's a post where it's like it looks like Tom was trying to figure out all these things, and it's like silly words that don't make sense.
You know people are yelling at us right now. Like, yes, it's an anagram, or no. Yes, it's an anagram.
So I'm gonna read from the chapter.
Stop yelling at us.
I'm not yelling. I'm just reading.
No, I'm telling
I
our
know,
listeners.
I know. You see, he whispered, it was a name I was already using at Hogwarts, to my most intimate friends only, of course. You think I was going to use my filthy Muggle father's name forever?
Yes.
I, in whose veins runs the blood of Salazar Slytherin himself through my mother's side. I keep the name of a foul, common Muggle who abandoned me even before I was born, just because
Tiffany
he found
is so bored with Tom Riddle's monologue, she's yawning.
just because he found out his wife was a witch. No, Harry, I fashioned myself a new name, a name I knew wizards everywhere would one day fear to speak. When I'd
right.
become the greatest sorcerer in the world.
In the world.
Can you just imagine being one of the kids at school and be like, you have to call me Lord Voldemort? I'd be like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
I almost said a bad word.
I would be like, you can go yourself.
Curse word.
That's a hard no for me. But good try.
What
What if it
name.
was like more awkward than that? What if he was like, hey guys, will you call me Voldemort?
Yeah, I just think of like, I just can envision him like the greatest sorcerer in the world.
But I bet he was doing some crazy stuff to get people to actually do that.
I
Yep,
mean,
just like that.
I mean, if like people fear to speak his name, he must have. I mean, he's charming, right?
Voldemort.
He's very persuasive.
Voldemort.
Oh, yes.
Voldemort. Voldemort.
Harry's.
3 times in a mirror, he's gonna appear.
She said it like 7.
Voldemort.
Harry's brain seemed to have jammed.
Smack you.
He
I
stared,
ain't scared. I'll say it.
he stared numbly at Riddle, at the orphan boy who had grown up to murder Harry's own parents and so many others. At last he forced himself to speak. You're not, he said, his quiet voice full of hatred. Not what, snapped Riddle. Not the greatest sorcerer in the world, said Harry, breathing fast. And here's him being sassy again. Mm-hmm. Sorry to disappoint you and all that, but the greatest wizard in the world is Albus Dumbledore. Everyone says so. Even when you were strong, you didn't dare try and take over at Hogwarts. Dumbledore saw through you when you were at school, and he still frightens you now, wherever you're hiding these days. The smile had gone from Riddle's face to be replaced by a very ugly look. Dumbledore has been driven out of this castle by the mere memory of me.
I again hear the guy in the movie.
Yeah.
By the mere memory of me.
He like gets that sneer on his face. And Harry says he's not as gone as you might think. So suddenly this music starts coming from somewhere. Is that Fox's theme song?
Ridiculous.
Do 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 do.
That's way too cheery for this moment.
That's not Fox's song.
So it's eerie, spine-tingling, and unearthly. It lifts the hair on Harry's scalp, but also makes his heart feel as though it's swelling to twice its normal size. And it reaches
also.
such a pitch, he feels it vibrating inside his own ribs. And then, in a burst of flames, Fox appears.
That was Fox.
Okay.
A crimson bird the size of a swan, glittering gold tail as long as a peacock's, gleaming golden talons, and he was gripping something ragged. So he flies straight at Harry, and he drops the ragged thing at his feet, lands on his shoulder. I think it's so cute that Harry mentioned that he's like warm on his cheek because he's a phoenix.
Is this what Dumbledore sends his great defender? A songbird in an old hat.
You can tell she's seen this movie a time or two.
This one.
So yes, the ragged thing Fox brought was the Sorting Hat, and Riddle laughed so hard it rang through the chamber, and he's mocking what Dumbledore sent him.
Can I bring up? I saw a picture that someone drew. It was on the tweeter, and it was so sad. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little teary eyed. It was Dumbledore laying at the foot of the tower after he had fell, and it was Fox laying his little head
God.
on Dumbledore's beard, and I was like, and I was like really tearing up. It was
so
so
sad.
because you never see him again. He's gone.
Yeah.
I bet he dies from heartbreak. Animals
Fox?
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he die?
But I don't think he would be reborn. I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Maybe a phoenix chooses when it's had its last burning day.
Maybe.
Oh my god, that's heart wrenching.
Because they're always like reincarnating, so maybe, I don't know.
But think about how much he loved his Dumbly.
Yeah, he was very loyal.
I love that bird.
Fox was a Hufflepuff.
He is a bird among birds. All right.
So I'm going to end my section with another chapter read because Riddle wants to know why Harry was able to defeat Voldemort. So to business, Harry, said Riddle, still smiling broadly. Twice in your past and my future we've met, and twice I failed to kill you. How did you survive? Tell me everything. The longer you talk, the longer you stay alive. So then Harry says, no one knows why you lost your powers when you attacked me. I don't know myself, but I know why you couldn't kill me, because my mother died to save me. My common muggle-born mother. She stopped you killing me, and I've seen the real you. I saw you last year. You're a wreck. You're barely alive. That's where all your power got you. You're in hiding. You're ugly. You're foul. Riddle doesn't like that.
U-G-L-Y.
No alibi.
You ugly. Okay.
Riddle's face contorted, then he forced it into an awful smile. So, your mother died to save you. Yes, that's a powerful countercharm, I can see now. There's nothing special about you after all. I wonder, do you see, there are strange likenesses between us after all. Even you must have noticed. Both half-bloods, orphans, raised by muggles, probably the only two Parselmouths to come to Hogwarts since the great Slytherin himself. We even look something alike. But after all, it was merely a lucky chance that saved you from me. That's all I wanted to know. So now he thinks he's all hot and cool.
I have a question.
You were just saved by a
How-
lucky chance.
How is it that Riddle is the only other descendant of Slytherin to come to Hogwarts?
People ain't having a good time.
Well, think of,
Maybe that's his only one that's still living.
think of Harry. He's the only
I-
Potter left.
No,
well,
I
think about the way
know.
that
Well,
the
maybe he's the
gods
only
turned
one
out.
that-
James was there, and James's father was there, and James's father's father was there. Like,
Dragon pox.
did
But maybe none of them tried to do it.
They don't.
no. They're saying
trying to say?
he's saying that they're the only ones to come to Hogwarts. So it's like, well, I guess maybe Merope didn't go because she was like homeschooled, right? Or
Did
whatever.
Marvolo go to like Durmstrang or something?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what about Marvolo? What about Merope? What about...
I
Before
doubt they let
Marvolo.
Merope go to school because they told her she was a squib. They just teased her
Yeah,
constantly,
yeah.
even though she wasn't.
But think about how dumb they were. You know what I mean?
But like before Marvolo,
even
like
maybe
none
'cause,
of
you
those
know-
people went to Hogwarts. That's just very odd to me.
Well, think about how Ilvermorny started with that.
She's a descendant of Slytherin.
Well, and so she didn't go to Hogwarts.
That's right. No, I thought she did.
No, they were. They wouldn't let her. Whoever was raising her wouldn't let her.
That's right.
What if the Gaunts thought that they were better than the mudbloods that were being let into Hogwarts, and
Yeah.
they decided not to go because they were so much better than they were.
Isn't
They
that-
could teach themselves.
I could see
I bet you
that.
they all went to America and went to Ilvermorny.
I bet they didn't
isn't
go
that
anywhere.
where? Isn't that?
Honest to God, I bet they didn't go anywhere. I bet all the magic they know
What's
is
the name of
very
the
limited.
What's the name of the lady who
and
started
self-taught.
Ilvermorny again?
I can't remember. but-
What's her face? Ilvermorny?
Well, she's I forgot about that. She's
No,
a
that's her
descendant
name.
of Slytherin.
Well, her name is what's her
But
face?
she
Oh.
she wouldn't let them or wouldn't let her go to Hogwarts either. Whoever was raising her, it wasn't her mother.
Yeah.
It was like an aunt, who I think was like.
Was it
a
because of?
descendant.
Was it
And
because
I think
of?
she had. I think
Maybe it's
Don't quote me on it.
Yeah, maybe it's because the other founders were kind of like, we're not taking on your ideals. Get over it. So then the family kind of was like, we're not going there then. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm looking up something. Keep talking. If you have anything to say.
Do you want me to start on my stuff?
Yeah, go ahead.
I did a lot of research
Shocking.
We love
just
it.
on the basilisk and the phoenix, which I won't go into all
Oh.
of it because it's a lot.
Never mind.
Like I have 3 pages on this stuff. But I had looked into just kind of reading some backstory stuff from a history of magic. I was doing the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the illustrated copy, and so I'll tell you what I found.
Give it.
So Snakey versus Birdie. Whoa. Who's gonna wow, I can't talk. Who's gonna win this fight?
She literally wrote that in the doc, by the way.
Clearly the bird wins.
I don't know.
Are you eating all of my favorite colored airheads and hiding them under the table so I don't hurt you?
Never.
So, in Harry Potter, A History of Magic, it kind of has if you guys haven't seen the book or even have gone to the exhibit, or they did a thing, they kind of filmed a bit and it was on in America on our CW, and it was also on the internet. So I watched most of it. I didn't
Why
get to finish it.
CW?
Random.
Oh no.
Who watches CW?
We probably all did watching this.
I didn't watch it.
So
I did.
the first.
Sorry, CW. If you want to sponsor us, I'll talk you up.
So the first bit talks about how it's huge. It's hard to tell where its body begins or ends. The scales are opposing and intimidating. And I was thinking about this, when things that shed their skin, particularly snakes, it's usually because they're getting bigger. So we see the snake skin is 20 feet long. So the snake's probably even bigger than 20 feet, which is crazy. And
too
even the
big.
Fantastic Beasts, it says they can get up to 50 feet. That's insane. So it's the King of Serpents, and in Greek, I'm gonna say this incorrect, so I apologize now. But Basilicus, I don't know, means little king, and it's Latin for king is Regulus, is what we talked about in the last episode. And then they had an Italian manuscript. There's a page from it called the Historia Animalium. And it contains 45 drawings of different animals that are executed by an individual known as Adonis. Many of the creatures were drawn were mythical. And so they talked about, there's a picture of the basilisk in the book, and the description is based on the works of Claudius Aelianus and Pliny the Elder. Sorry, I'm getting all of these wrong. So it's interesting, though, that these from history, we were talking how it's just the width of the palm, but it could kill someone with its stare, which is so different from what we are used to reading in Harry Potter and seeing in the movie and everything, where it's massive. Yeah. So Pliny reported the basilisk is only 12 inches long, and both its touch and breath were deadly, but it could be killed by the scent of a weasel.
Breath deadly.
Yeah.
Mine is in the mornings.
Okay. And then there's Jacobus Saldago, a refugee from Spain, and he was a convert to Protestantism who settled in England. He displayed a basilisk in 1680 that was given to him by a Dutch doctor who had returned from Ethiopia, and it was presumably the creature had been stuffed and preserved. But the description of the beast, it was yellow with a crown-like crest and the body of a cockerel or a rooster, which had attached to it was a serpent tail. So it's also kind of how you see it in history, is it's not like an actual snake, but it's there's a rooster bit head with the plumage and the feathers and the wings and then the snake body. which is crazy.
Mixing a bunch of creatures, right?
And then it says the dangers of the basilisk stare. In the time of Alexander the Great, there was one of them which, lying hid in a wall, killed a great troop of his soldiers by the poisonous glances of his eyes upon them. Which I think is cool, because if you learn history, you know who Alexander the Great is.
'Tis true.
Yeah. And then, so, reading with the Fantastic Beasts, that it has a classification of 5 X's.
Ooh.
And that means it's known wizard killer or impossible to train. Herpo the Fowl.
Well, not completely
Well,
impossible, right?
Well, it's very difficult.
Very difficult.
You have to be a parcel tongue,
Correct.
which is quite rare.
So Herpo the Fowl, who was a Greek wizard, Parselmouth, was the first recorded to breed the basilisk.
He was also the first to create a Horcrux.
What came first, the basilisk or the chicken?
Oh, jeez.
You mean like
Well,
the basilisk
the
or
chicken.
the egg?
Well, no, it's chicken egg.
It would have to be the chicken because you have to hatch a basilisk from a chicken egg
Chicken.
under a toad.
I say chicken.
So basilisk won't exist without the chicken. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's exceptionally venomous fangs, but its most dangerous means of attack are its yellow eyes. AKA, you look at it, you die because it's so ugly. So they'll eat all mammals, birds, and most reptiles. They can reach a great age. It's said that Herpo, the fowl's basilisk, lived to close to 900 years. They're uncontrollable unless it's except by parcel tongues. And there hasn't been a recorded sighting in 400 years in Britain. And so, in mythology, it's similar to the Gorgons of Greek mythology, and Medusa is the most famous one. And by looking at her, you get turned to stone. So it's similar where you look at a basilisk and yet die.
Also, when you're petrified, you're kind of like stone.
Yeah, but you're not looking directly at it. Mm-hmm. So ways to kill it: gazing into eyes of its prey, ability to breathe fire like a dragon, delivers lethal venom through its bite. And it says something about the ability to fly, but I don't know how that kills. How does that kill people? Maybe it can fly and look at you. I don't know. Ways to kill it: hearing a crow, looking at itself in a mirror. Tales say that. It says tales say that Alexander the Great ordered a mirror to be placed between his army and the basilisk, and it died immediately. And then there's St. George held his shield so that a basilisk saw its own reflection, and it died.
Is that how Medusa dies? Mirror?
I think so.
Which one of that?
Yeah.
What does the basilisk see in the mirror, Vera said? It can't.
Well, yeah, because it got its eyes picked out.
That's a terrible joke. That's an equally terrible joke.
And what I thought was really cool, so a lot of times in Christianity, the snake or a serpent is representative of evil, and it's a symbol of death. Mm-hmm. And so they use the basilisk and the serpent cast as a demon, or it's representative of the devil, like the snake in the Garden of Eden. And it's often depicted in art and other things of being slain, except I so didn't spell that correctly, or defeated by Christian soldiers or knights to symbolize the ability to overcome evil, which I think is really cool because when you talk about phoenixes, they're like the complete opposite, where they're a representation of the resurrection and everlasting life and all that cool stuff. Mm-hmm. So with phoenixes, with the history of magic, there's some really cool stuff in there. You get to see, and if you don't have Jim Kay's illustrated copy of Chamber of Secrets, or if you don't have this book, you don't get to look at it. But it's a really cool drawing of fox.
Yeah. It's awesome.
With brilliant red and gold feathers. Thank you. And in the book History of Magic, there's a 13th century bestiary that describes and illustrates the phoenix, that it creates its own funeral pyre and fans the flames with its wings so it can be consumed by the fire. And after 9 days, it's reborn from the ashes. So that's something I didn't know.
It's you.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And so, like I said, it's compared to the self-sacrifice and resurrection of Christ in some traditions, and it signifies the eternal life of the faithful Christian.
I love this.
Yeah, and I that was my biggest takeaway is with they're representing, one's representing good, one's representing evil, and really, if you put your faith in the good, good overcomes evil. I really like that.
Maybe that's why I feel so connected to Fox. I love that Boyd.
I like Fox too a lot.
Yeah.
So in 1550, Guy de la Garde, a French author, for the La Histoire et Description du Phoenix. I don't know if I said that right. It features a hand-colored pictures of creatures emerging from a burning tree. The translated caption says a description of the phoenix and its fortunate place of residences. It has long life, a pure conversation, excellent beauty, diverse colors, and of its end and remarkable resurrection. And one of the curators from the exhibition, Tanya Kirk, was saying, phoenixes are historically associated with the sun, the crest of 7 feathers on the bird's dead correspondence, I don't know if that's right, to the 7 rays which traditionally emit from the head of Helios, the Greek god of the sun. And so with Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, the Ministry of Magic classification is 4 X's, not because it's aggressive, but it's because it's very few wizards have ever succeeded in domesticating it, which kind of shows you
he's
how
super
powerful.
special.
Yeah, how powerful and like
God, that makes that
Dumbledore
picture
is.
so much sadder.
Okay.
And how special specifically Fox is.
Yeah. Usually with this rating, it means that the creature is dangerous, requires specialist knowledge, or a skilled wizard may handle it. So we know it's a magnificent swan-sized bird, scarlet, with long gold tail, beak, and talons. So it usually rests on mountain peaks found in Egypt, India, and China. They live to an immense age, which makes me go back to thinking, can they choose when they want to not regenerate?
Or maybe each one just has so many they can.
Yeah, like a cat has 9 lives.
Yeah.
It's a gentle creature. It has never been known to kill anyone and only eats herbs. It can disappear and reappear at will, which I thought was really cool because I had always wondered how it had gotten down to the chamber.
Yeah. And when Dumbledore
Yeah.
disappears.
Yeah. The song is magical. It's reputed to increase the courage of the pure of heart and to strike fear into the impure of heart, which is like cool because when we're talking about Harry like feeling that way when he hears the song, like to me that's immediately like he's pure of heart, like his heart is growing because he's like, yeah, I got my bro with me.
And imagine what Tom's feeling. He must be. It must scare him.
Yeah. And then we know that their tears have healing powers. And like I said, my biggest takeaway was the correlation between the Christianity stuff with serpents representing evil
Yeah, that's really cool.
and the birds representing some good.
Go, birds, go.
See, you're allowed to spend all your money at Barnes & Noble.
I mean, and let me tell you, I didn't even read all of my notes, and I could have gone
Can you
on.
even imagine how sweaty this is going to get when she reads her stuff for 7?
It was so much. It was so much. I mean, I have pages and pages of notes.
You Ravenclaw.
Well, and there was even, and was trying to find, there's like this whole storyline in like the Garden of Eden where, so we know, unless you aren't familiar with the story, that Adam and Eve are there and the snake tricks them into eating like the apple or whatever, and that's the represent like the devil's in the snake. And then there's like I guess there's like a phoenix. There's like some legend where the phoenix comes and Eve tries to like trick the phoenix, and they're like, nah, bro. I could totally be lying, but I didn't get to really find it on the internet and read it, so.
It upsets me that snakes are known to be evil, and that's my house like mascot.
You don't even like snakes.
I know, but like the fact that she decided to brand.
No,
She
whoa,
did it.
hey, whoa, this is history here.
Yeah,
she pulled
I'm-
from everything, so you can't get mad about it.
I'm just saying.
It's not her. Literally, like she's
but-
saying it's history.
But
She
cunning-
chose
the
to use that history.
The cunning part, like snakes are creative in the way that they do things. Like that, you can't think of it as evil.
Well, and I
Don't
think
go
you
back
need
to that.
I think you need to think
Come
about
so
it too,
far.
where a lot of authors pull from history, and that's how they get a lot of this stuff. So.
I just like still go back and think about how much I dislike the stigma that Joe put on both Slytherin and Hufflepuff.
You know what? I agree, and she's like, I don't know why people like feel this way. I'm like,
Yeah,
because you
because
wrote it
you
that
did
way.
it.
You put the like
Not only just in the writing, but like even in interviews and
Yeah.
stuff. And like she backpedaled a lot later on, but especially once people were able to like get sorted, like she didn't want people to think, oh, I'm in the house that Joe hates.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But she did put a stigma on Slytherin for being evil and Hufflepuff for just kind of like being nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was
I
her.
am not nothing.
Clearly, your Newt Scamander is in your house, and that's amazing. And I
let's
think
be
that she
honest.
ended up choosing cool people to put in Hufflepuff to make up for it.
What about Ravenclaws? We have Lockhart. I want someone cool too.
Guys, I
Luna?
Details. Shut
Yeah,
up.
I need more than just Luna.
But
Luna's
Luna
a
is
cool kid.
sweet.
Love her. I need some more people.
Penelope
Oh.
All right, so Fox appears out of
Flitwick.
nowhere
He's cool.
with the sorting hat, and once the basilisk makes his appearance, Fox goes after his eyeballs straight away. So Harry has kept his eyes shut tightly since he heard Riddle call the snake, but he is so interested in what is happening because he hears a lot of thrashing. He opens his eyes slightly.
Fox has to have super good aim because he would have to keep his eyes super tight shut while he's attacking.
I wonder
these
if it
eyeballs.
affects Fox, though.
See, I was thinking about this. Maybe he was constantly crying to fix his eyes.
Whoa, that's cool.
Also, can I go back to where you said they did this really well in the movie? They ain't no toes in this.
No, I know, but like I just love the whole idea of like how they made the chamber look. In my mind, it's perfect.
I like this better
I like
than like
the
a
movie
statue
version.
of a person.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
toes.
Harry opens his eyes slightly and sees Fox is pecking the snake's eyes out, basically.
B.A.
Yeah. So Fox, the cool bird that he is, has blinded the basilisk so that Harry can now look at him and not die. Pretty awesome. Yep. He also goes after his nostrils a bit, maybe to damage his sense of smell, so he has more trouble smelling the chosen one.
I think that it's so that he's smelling blood more than anything.
And that
Yeah.
affects smelling Harry. I was
Right.
thinking that, but it's like
Is he like a shark?
could be. So Fox then circles the basilisk's head, confusing him more while he is singing his little old song, which we know puts fear into the heart of those who are impure, aka the basilisk, and probs the riddle of time.
Oh my gosh.
I was crazy when I was doing these notes yesterday. So Harry starts asking for help because he has no clue what he's doing, and
this
the
part just slays me.
yeah. Well, oh my gosh. Get it? Because he's going to slay.
That's not why I said that, but that's funny.
So the basilisk decides to be nice, but not really, because he accidentally sends the sorting hat right into Harry's arms. So not knowing what else to do, Harry puts the hat on his head and keeps asking for advice, hoping that he's going to say something, you know? So instead of speaking to him, it drops some knowledge or a sword on his head. So the sword that makes Harry see stars, a.k.a. love at first sight, is none other than the sword of Gryffindor.
Hey.
And so I just wrote some fun facts about the cool-looking sword. So it's a silver sword, goblin-made, ruby-studded hilt, and the rubies are sized of eggs, it says in the book, which is crazy.
I also just want to point out that now in Chamber of Secrets, we have seen our first Horcrux and one item we know can destroy them.
Well,
Not
at
yet.
this point in time, I was
It
going to
can't
say.
yet, but it's like massive foreshadowing, I feel.
Yeah.
2 items.
What?
Two items
items.
that can
because the
destroy.
fang.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it contains properties only goblin-made armor. It possesses and will take on the power of substances it touches. And then I said, what doesn't kill it makes it stronger.
Oh my god.
It presents itself to Gryffindors in times of need. It was forged 1,000 years ago by Ragnarok the First, king of the goblins. And I thought it was cool because there's this article on Pottermore that he's not necessarily, this is what it says, he's the finest of the goblin silversmiths and therefore king in goblin culture. The ruler does not work less than the others, but is more skillful, which I thought was really cool to learn about.
Yeah, I like that.
I like knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge is power. And so people always like kind of ask, why would a wizard need a sword?
The better to stab you with, my dear.
To destroy Horcruxes?
This is what it says. The question of why a wizard would need a sword, though often asked, is easily answered. In the days before the International Statute of Secrecy, when wizards mingled freely with muggles, they would use swords to defend themselves just as often as wands. Indeed, it was considered unsporting to use a wand against a muggle sword, which is not to say it was never done. Many gifted wizards were also accomplished duelists in the conventional sense, Gryffindor among them. Which, again, I thought was really cool.
I would totally pull a Hagrid and hide my wand like in my sword.
You cheater.
Ooh, magical sword.
And
Ooh,
these
not
are-
so Hufflepuff things
I
to
was going to
say.
say the same thing. These are times when we doubt her Hufflepuffness.
I'm just saying, look her up.
Sneaky. Her wife is rubbing off on her.
I'm quite cunning.
And I also think it's really cool. In the same article, it talks about kind of like the similarities between Gryffindor's sword and the legend of Excalibur, which is the sword of King Arthur. And it, in the legend of that, the sword has to be pulled from the stone by like the rightful king, who ends up being King Arthur. And I think it's cool. There's further, and J.K. Rowling's thoughts at the bottom of it, there's further allusion to the Excalibur emerging from the lake when Harry must dive into a frozen forest pool to retrieve the sword in Deathly Hallows. Though the location of the sword is really due to a spiteful impulse of Snape's to put it in there.
I always wondered if that was true.
For in other versions of the
Spiteful
legend,
impulse?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this
That's
is
what it
sure.
He could have just set it like against a tree and led him to it, but no, he put it all the way down on the bottom.
Why
of
are
a
we still
frozen
doing
lake.
this?
yeah. The idea of fitness to carry the sword is echoed in the Sword of Gryffindor's return to worthy members of its true owner's house. And I just think it's really cool that
That's so
Tiffany's
awesome.
so mad about Snape.
this is stuff I love about Jo. She pulls stuff from like,
Straight up history.
yeah.
I thought that the whole thing was like, I don't know, the kind of like bravery kind of deal, but you're just doing it to be
From the mouth
a-hole?
of Jo herself.
Still? With the Wizarding World in the balance? You're still doing? Okay.
Well, and it's a cool thing. Like,
y'all are going to have to bring that up on the next Snape episode because I'm not sure how anyone's defending that.
I mean, he's human.
No.
Okay.
He's going through a lot right now.
No.
To going back to the lake. Also, there's other versions of the legend about Excalibur where it was given to Arthur by the Lady of the Lake and was returned to the lake when he died.
I was going to say that.
Well, Joe said it first. It's just really cool,
Do I see the word homeboy coming up?
Maybe.
Okay, continue. Oh, Lord.
I just like it a lot.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
you know what?
like it a lot.
I like you. Oh. Okay, we'll see.
All right, so he has a sword in his hands. Ruby's the size of eggs.
What kind of eggs?
I don't know.
Yeah, we talking
Medium,
ostrich or
large,
like
extra
robin
large.
egg?
I'm assuming
Hummingbird.
I'm assuming just a regular old large chicken egg. The kind you get at the supermarket or fresh if you have chickens that lay eggs.
Shout out to chickens.
I like to
Galactic
eat
chickens?
So Harry was on his feet, ready. The basilisk's head was falling, its body coiling around, hitting pillars as it twisted to face him. He could see the vast, bloody eye sockets, see the mouth stretching wide enough to swallow him whole, lined with fangs long as his sword, thin, glittering, venomous. It lunged blindly. Harry dodged, and it hit the chamber wall. It lunged again, and its forked tongue lashed Harry's side. He raised the sword in both of his hands. The basilisk lunged again. This time its aim was true.
Lashed his side.
So homeboy with the sword in hand is ready to take down the beast or die trying. So he can't see anything.
Or
The
both.
basilisk- True. So the basilisk can't see anything, so he's flailing, but he can smell Harry. And he has his mouth wide open, ready to swallow Harry whole. Lunges. He dodges. Lunges again. Harry again narrowly misses it. The beast lunges a third time.
Hey.
Yeah, his aim is true, but so is Harry. So Harry throws all of his weight behind the sword in his hands, and he drives it into the roof of the snake's mouth. But the snake also punctured Harry with his fang. So now the basilisk is dead, and Harry's dying from the venom. So he pulls the fang out of his arm. Not a very smart move. If you're ever punctured with something, don't pull it out.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Because it's
Especially something
actually
like that.
it's actually stopping the blood from just
Yeah, so
going
then like
everywhere.
the next thing he's like, there's white hot pain spreading slowly and steadily from the wound, and blood's pouring out of the wound because he pulled the fang out.
Do you ever think about how every miss this basilisk had is just like the Lily's love charm and like Horcrux's tying and
Could be.
prophecies and you can't win.
connects.
You can't win, silly snake.
So blood's pouring from the wound. I'm saying he probably get an artery in his arm.
Title.
His vision's getting hazy. Fawkes comes up to Harry, lays his head right on Harry's little wound. So Riddle starts mocking Harry and the bird. You're dead, Harry Potter. Dead. Even Dumbledore's bird knows it. Do you see what he's doing, Potter? He's crying. Thick, pearly tears were trickling down his feathers onto Harry. Riddle tells him he's going to sit there and watch him die.
Do you think Fox is like, watch this?
Probably.
He can't because he has to cry. He can't laugh.
Well, in your mind, you can. Well, Sarah can make herself cry at will now.
I do this a
apparently.
lot, though, where I laugh and cry at the same time. So ends the famous Harry Potter, said Riddle's distant voice. Alone in the Chamber of Secrets, forsaken by his friends, defeated at last by the Dark Lord, he so unwisely challenged. You'll be back with your dear mudblood mother soon, Harry.
Ew.
She bought you 12 years of borrowed time, but Lord Voldemort got you in the end, as you know he must. Then Harry's like, dude, if this is dying, Harry thought, it's not so bad.
Ain't so shabby.
And the chamber around him starts to come back into focus. The wound is now gone because Fawkes' tears have healed him. And I've said, Riddle's hubris has had him thinking that he finally bested Harry and made him forget that the tears have healing powers. And he's like, oh, shoot, you're going to live. Not so long, though, because I'm going to get you.
I'm gonna get you.
You just wait and see.
So I said, Harry isn't going to die today. And I said, not today, Riddle.
Oh my gosh.
So
These
Riddle-
notes are literally your thoughts, and I love every second.
So Riddle shoos Fawkes away and raises his wand. Fawkes comes back and drops the diary into Harry's lap. Without much thought, Harry picks up the fang and just stabs the diary straight into the heart. Which I think is such like a, I'm going to ruin your diary. And
Yeah,
then, it
like-
works out so well for him.
Doesn't it say he doesn't even just instinctually
Yeah.
does it?
Like he has no clue what it's gonna do, but he
Yeah.
has a feeling that this is what he should do.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what it says. Then without thinking, without considering, as though he had meant to do it all along,
Yep, yeah.
Harry sees the basilisk fang on the floor next to him and plunges it straight into the heart of the book.
Can you all just look at me for a second?
Oh my god.
Propping up your mic on your prego belly.
My mic is literally propped up on my belly.
My belly.
I'm really good at this.
There was a long, dreadful, piercing scream. Ink spurted out of the diary in torrents, streaming over Harry's hands, flooding the floor. Riddle was withering and twisting, screaming and flailing, and then he had gone. Harry's wand fell to the floor with a clatter, and there was silence. Silence except for the steady drip, drip of ink still oozing from the diary. The basilisk venom had burned a sizzling hole right through it.
Whoa.
I love it.
Whoa.
I love it.
Crazy.
Tis.
So Harry gathers the hat, the diary, and the sword. And Ginny, she starts to stir because, magic's now gone from the diary. And she tells Harry how it was her doing all those things that had happened in the past year. He tries to reassure that Riddle is dead. He's not going to come after her anymore because he's gone.
Bye.
But she's still so upset and she's convinced she's going to be expelled. They leave the chamber with Fawkes and soon come to where the stones fell. And Ron has been able to move enough so they can climb through. We see our lovely Lockhart was hit with his own spell, and he has no memory of anything, including his name.
Way to go, Lockhart.
So Harry and Ron discuss how they will get out of the pipes when Ron notices that Fawkes looks like he wants Harry to grab on. So securing the sword and the diary and the hat or whatever, Harry has Ron take Ginny's hand and Lockhart take her other one. So Harry grabs hold of a tail feather as Fawkes is shaking his little tail feather. Shaking tail feather. And Ron grabs Harry's robes and they take flight. Lockhart is amazed. Amazing. It's just like magic. So he's forgotten literally everything. They make it back to the bathroom, and Myrtle seems surprised and disappointed that Harry is alive. Fawkes leads them out of the bathroom, and they take it to McGonagall's office. They make it to McGonagall's office. Harry knocks and pushes the door open. What's waiting inside? We shall find out on the next episode of Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast.
Well done, Sarah. Well done.
Yeah.
She warned us about episode 40. She was like,
I don't know what was with me when I was
it's going to be long.
I like it. The riddle of Tom.
Yep.
He truly is a riddle.
Homeboy.
Homeboy grabs his sword. He's ready.
I also like the little Snakey versus Birdie. Who
Is
gonna
this
win?
live?
Right now?
But I haven't pushed it out to everybody yet.
Hey guys, it's Sarah calling.
Yes. Lightning bolt round. We're
This really has very little to do with this chapter, but like when you look at the later books, when he sees is it just a movieism where he like hears things when he gets too close to a Horcrux or like feels it? How come he doesn't feel it with the diary?
I thought that too.
the movieism, I believe.
But doesn't he like know when like how it's a fake locket?
No, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know until he opens it.
I just so that the whole being able to even feel it is all
Yeah,
of that.
Voldemort can't feel anything either.
Well, Voldemort's dumb.
Well, that's not what we're talking about.
Voldemort's dumb.
You dumb.
Oh, let me put this article in here.
Would you have gotten sassy with Tom Riddle?
I would
you have
hope
felt
to think
confident
I
enough
did.
to?
I would like to think I would. But I'd probably just be really scared.
Yeah.
I would hope my Gryffindor side kicked in.
Well, you have to think about all the little pieces and parts that are in that situation. Like, you've got someone who means something to you who is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know that something's wrong and you got to get out of there and your adrenaline's running. I think I would have probably gotten that way. Especially now. I'm a little more outspoken nowadays.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I don't know, man. Let me think of some questions.
Meg, do you have any lightning bolt round questions?
No.
Would you be afraid to hang on to Fox and fly?
No, that'd be sweet.
I would be.
When you grab his tail feathers, you feel light. Shoo. You take off.
I like that too. Like if you think phoenixes can hold immense loads, which sounds so wrong. But you think like going back to being able to reappear and disappear and all that stuff when he takes Dumbledore out of the office.
Yeah.
And he's like, doesn't he say like, oh, what's the word? Come quietly. Like you thought it would be like, come quietly.
You can't deny.
He's got
Dumbledore's got style. I love Kingsley.
Kingsley is freaking
Underrated.
Yeah.
boss. Completely.
Well, wait.
For what?
Because I'm going to do a fan story, and what if they hear?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. You do you, boo. Alrighty, Roo.
Alrighty, Roo.
I feel like I don't know. I just can't really think of anything for this chapter.
I don't know if there's questions.
There's like just...
Would you have pulled the fang out? No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, because
Out
I
of your
clearly
arm?
didn't know that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd have been bleeding all over the place.
Admittedly, I even knew that, and I probably just, like, instinctually would have been like,
Yeah, because the
ripping it
first
out
thing
of
you
my
want to
arm,
do
you know?
is that's the
Yeah.
source of your pain. Take it,
Yeah.
right?
Or, like, in my head, like, it's a silly thought, but if I get it out, maybe the venom won't hit me, but clearly, like, it already has.
When rereading this chapter and everything and thinking of how someone recently on our page was talking about Voldemort and like little things he did that like he thinks so highly of himself
Yes.
that he completely forgets about Fox and the healing power. So he's like, I'll let this bird cry on you, whatever, you're still gonna die.
Right, it's just, like, adding to his joy like,
Yeah.
that someone
Yeah.
else is upset over Harry dying.
Cry.
And then
Yeah,
it's like,
pretty much.
bro, you're dumb. And it's like you can see that throughout, like, you know, that's his downfall.
Yeah.
But you see that with like big in other stories too, you know? Little things lead to their downfall. If you weren't so
Oh yeah, villains are so.
if you didn't think you were
self-involved.
exactly. Like if you really took the time and analyzed the whole that's not the right word, but looked at the whole situation, you would have been more successful in
Well,
killing
and
Harry
I'm just
Potter.
saying that the Jedi Council was a little full of themselves, and the Sith were back, and nobody knew about that.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Okay, fan story
Fan story?
Fan story?
Fan story.
makes me upstairs.
It's been a while.
I know I had to bring it back.
So this one, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. Please tell me how to pronounce it properly. but this one comes from Radha Patel.
I would assume so.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is Radha Patel. Hopefully I said that right again. And I'm 18. I know I'm a little younger than most of your listeners, but I love Harry Potter so much. And
You're definitely not, FYI.
No, definitely not. And I'm a proud
much younger.
Ravenclaw.
Holla.
For a dollar.
I wanted to start reading the books in second grade because everyone else is reading them. So I sat down with my mom one night and we started. She couldn't finish the first chapter. She thought they were boring and unrealistic. I, however, continued with the first book and all 6 after that.
It's real to us.
As I finished each book, I watched each movie, taking pleasure in my favorite characters and scenes. I've had leukemia twice and thyroid cancer as well, so I have a lot of medical issues and follow-ups, and reading Harry Potter and listening to your awesome podcast always brightens my day. Life can be unfair, but your laughs and the magic of Harry Potter always make it better.
Dude.
Thank you.
First of all, definitely not too young.
No.
Second, I love, because I'm obviously old, like we're in that generation that grew up with Harry. I love the younger generation and
Bring it
like
in.
hearing that like some of them read the book, watched the movie, read the book, watched the movie. That's such an interesting thing to me because I only did that with some of them,
Yeah.
not like straight from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, you're amazing.
You
Thank
are.
you for
Yeah.
sharing your story.
I mean, we've said it before. Well, it won't be the last time we say it on here. Cancer fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I'm just glad if we
I
can
mean,
make someone's
yes,
day
yes,
better.
exactly.
That's like my whole, like, even without the podcast, like, I just like when people are down, like,
I would
make them laugh.
I love that.
make them laugh.
I love
I was
that we
thinking the
have
same thing.
like
I would
we've
love to
created
know
a home, you
Yeah.
know.
where you're at. Maybe we can send you something. Send you something to brighten your day even more with
Yeah.
Reach out to
your
Yeah.
Send us a little message
with
on
your
the,
follow-ups and stuff like that. I know you're probably spending a lot of time outside of your home.
Yeah.
So let us know where at and what. Get you something.
yeah.
Get you something sent out.
Send us a little message on the Facebook or an
Please.
email.
Email makes me want to wag my tail.
When it comes, I want a whale.
Email. It's what is it? Swishflakecast@gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. But thank you. We appreciate your story so much, and
We appreciate you and your ears.
and on all that jazz.
And all that jazz.
Yeah.
This is a very musical episode.
Yeah.
Our episodes usually
They
get
usually
musical.
are.
This one
Good.
especially, though.
This whole week I've been singing to myself at home with no music. That's the kind of mood I've been in all
She's
week.
an acapella.
It's a one-woman show. You gotta get one of those things where you kick your leg and it like
I need you
smacks
to have
a
a
cymbal
cane
on your
and a
head or
top
something.
hat. You need to be the frog from Looney Tunes. Remember that frog?
Yes.
Shut it.
Hello, my baby. Hello,
Oh, it makes me so happy.
This is why people hate us.
Or love us.
All right, y'all talk about your other projects.
Shameless plugs. I am on an all video games podcast called Box Trick with my friend Matt Brady. We are currently doing a Pokemon playthrough of the OG Pokemon Red and Blue. We just finished getting the Sylph Scope, so we are heading back to Lavender Town to figure out what that does.
Sounds Greek to me.
No, it's intense and fun.
It's good. And then I am also on an all Star Wars podcast called Rebel Watch. Hey there, Star Wars fans. My friend E. Kirk 2006 or Ezra Kirk, we are doing a a journey through Star Wars, breaking everything down, getting deep and sweaty. I am a Padawan learner, and I'm just trying to learn all that I can.
Don't listen. Neither one of them know what they're talking about.
It's true. We have no idea. What's a Star Wars? And that's where you can find me on the podcast realm.
Katie and I have a YouTube channel called Main Street 9 3/4, and right now we're kind of going through an Ohio bucket list and doing stuff in Ohio that we've always wanted to do.
Because you should be a tourist even in your hometown.
Adventures out there, guys, even in Ohio. So
Just I felt we getting yelled at a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Am I
I'm
not doing
just-
anything this weekend? Jeez.
I'm just saying.
I am. I'm going downtown. Gonna see a play.
See?
All right. So you can find us on YouTube at Main Street 9 3/4. We post videos weekly, working on maybe twice a week.
Yeah, we'll see.
It depends on our schedule. We literally have zero time with our lives, so we'll see how this goes.
We like to put a lot on our plate.
Yeah.
Too much.
Because speaking of, we also have another podcast. Disney podcast where we are analyzing the movies chronologically. So we started with Snow White and we are all the way up to the Three Caballeros this weekend.
Three caballeros.
Yep. And it's a lot of fun. We go through history and fun facts and we have guests on every show. So, it's called Grown Up Kids. That's important.
And you can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, TuneIn.
Yeah. Hit me up for them 90s movies, guys.
All right.
I know.
Sarah, what's happening in your life?
So I'm on an All Potter podcast called Swish and Flick.
Do you like us?
No. What else am I doing with my life? I'm trying to become an astronaut. I want to go to space.
Get out of Ohio?
Yeah.
Because that's what
Just
someone
like
said. They were like,
20
what is it
years
about
ago,
Ohio?
astronauts have been from Ohio.
Okay, all right. That concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening. And don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just my voice!
Too much corn, ate too much pudding and pie. I'm stuffed up with muffins and much too much stuffing. I think I'm going to die. I piled up my plate and I ate and ate, but I wish I had known when to stop. For I'm so crammed with yams, sausage, gravy, sausage. That's not what it says. Sausage, gravies, and jams. But my buttons are starting to pop. I'm full of tomatoes and French fried potatoes. My stomach is swollen and sore, but there's still some dessert, so I guess it won't hurt if I eat just a little bit more.
This is gonna be a good episode. Guys, let's have a Havarti of a time.
I hope I'm not a monster. Let's begin.
No, I can't.
I'm feeling a little blue.
You fatta get better.
Cheddar.
We chatta begin.
Oh, gosh. All right, here we go. Because I need to go.
You know what? This is Nacho Podcast, so let's begin.